at the Fuller House, at the Full House in San Francisco. They all came out for the premiere of it, the second season.
Oh, nice.
So they are. So
they already did it.
I was at the game where Stephanie sang.
On the what? Stephanie
Tanner.
Were you here for that one?
Are they singing
I
anything
was.
about audio?
Yeah, I remember that.
Everyone was all pissed off, right?
Yeah.
Is there anything about
It
audio?
says we should play some charades while we're waiting.
No sound is what we see.
Yeah.
No
Some
sound.
what?
No sound. A lot of no sound.
Thanks, babe.
I think Nikki's
You got
calling
it?
me to tell
No
me that there's no sound.
No sound.
Because she just typed
Oh, it's
it.
working. Okay, cool.
All right.
Oh, they're saying working sound.
Uh-oh.
We have sound, yes. Thank you guys for waiting. We had all of this great content. We were all in the flow,
Guys,
and we're like, they can't hear
So much
anything.
prolific and great things to say. So we'll just have to give you guys
We'll
the short
start.
version.
Yeah, we'll
Oh,
turn the sound off.
turn it louder. Okay, cool. That's awesome. Now we have more people. So perfect. All right. Well, welcome guys to season 7, episode 7 of the Game of Thrones finale. We're gonna give you our quick overall view.
The intro to start. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys think of the episode?
Say it again.
How do you introduce him? As
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Jared Parker, Ty Block, and of course the Moon of My Life, Hunter. Thank you guys again for being here.
Glad to be here.
Now that we've had a rehearsal, let's go ahead and give them the real.
Well, what'd you think of the episode?
What did you think of it?
I liked it. I was disappointed. I think there's just too much to cover in the next season. Just way too much to cover.
You guys
I think it's going to be rushed.
Earlier, he said called Cersei, and I made a really funny joke about it. You guys missed it. Let us know. It was really funny.
That's not how jokes work. You like jokes and like there was a funny joke that you missed.
I'm sure you guys saw us laughing. It's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
How about you, Ty?
I thought the episode was great. Just kind of pulled together everything that the season had kind of been culminating to. I'm with Jarrett. There's a lot, it was kind of a fast-moving season. There was a lot of little details that you would have gotten in earlier seasons, but I understand trying to wrap it up. There's a lot to fit in. So I was excited. I thought there was a lot of great things that happened, and I can't wait for the next season.
But do you think because we know that they're ending soon, that's why we think they're like trying to speed it up?
No.
I think if we didn't know that, we would be like, oh, this is a cool...
I think everybody
episode.
kind of would have noticed just because of the detail in the first couple of seasons, how like every little detail, every travel movement that any person took, you were on that journey with them. You could see how long it took to get from King's Landing all the way up to Winterfell and that kind of thing. So there's little details like that, where all of a sudden Brienne's just in King's Landing, no problem, with all this fighting going on through the Riverlands and stuff. So I think there's some little details, but I'm not that concerned about it.
It definitely moved a lot slower earlier in the seasons, and now it's like they're headed somewhere and they teleport there. It's like a lot of quick moving. Like I said earlier, if there were 3 more seasons left, I would feel really comfortable about it.
Yep.
But that being said, it feels like stuff's happening really quick. I still love the episode. I love having all these amazing characters, and like the way I explain Game of Thrones to a lot of people that haven't watched it, I'm like, imagine Gladiator, and there's like 7 Maximus Aureliuses, and like that's what I love. I want to see the Mountain and the Hound and Jaime and like Brienne and Arya. I want to see them like going ham.
Super Smash Bros. Style.
Ambassador, yes. We need like a Game of Thrones Super Smash. Like that would be sick. The Mountain in Super Smash Bros.
Yeah.
It'd be fun.
He'd be like Bowser.
He would be.
Yeah.
I guess you could just play Bowser and imagine you're the Mountain.
Okay, so let's start off with we're at the Dragon Pit, right? And we see the scenes of Grey Worm, who's alive, who I was concerned about. And we have all of the Unsullied and then the Dothraki come in. What did you guys think of Daenerys showing everything she's got right then and there?
I mean, yeah, she did actually. I think she's being open. I think she realized like what the issue is. What the problem is. The Night King. That's the issue. So I think she's kind of also maybe she's a little focused on Jon Snow and losing her like competitive edge. But yeah, she definitely did.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought it's like Jarrett said, everything that she had thought before, where it was just taking down Cersei, now
her whole mindset's changed, and it's what do we have to do to join forces to take down the Night King, because that's what matters, because he killed one of my children.
Yeah. How about you?
I feel like what she brought all of her armies and stuff there, because she's basically, because they're like taking a huge gamble, like, Cersei could just try to kill him. So I think she's like, look, if you like try anything funny, like we're coming. Like, basically, I feel like she's gonna destroy King's Landing. So she's like kind of showing her power, and then letting her know, like, look, we just need a truce. I feel like that's why you bring the whole armies, is just like show that you can destroy. The whole scene where like he's like, Bran and Jaime, and he's like, if I didn't have a cock, I wouldn't be fighting, and like, and Jaime's like, I don't know, I feel like you have this powerful scene with all these armies and this amazing shot, and then he's like, I guess it's all about cocks in the end. Like, really? That's I thought that was a little cheesy, but
See, I thought it was dumb of her to show all her cards. Because no matter what, she has a bigger army than Cersei, and it's like, why? What's the point? Like, she's not gonna
keep some secrets.
She should keep some secrets. She should have shown up with at least like half or 3/4 and kept the other maybe like a little bit further back. But I thought it was dumb. But we talked about this last night, and he was like, "No, it was good. No matter what, she's gonna whoop some ass."
Yeah.
But I don't know. I felt like she should have kept something close to the chest.
Yeah.
Because now Cersei knows all, right? All right. So then we're in the dragon pit. And we have Podrick and Bronn, which I thought was really interesting, where Bronn was like, hey, Podrick, let's let the fancy people talk. Let's get out of here and get a drink. And do you guys know why he said that? Because it was so random. It was so random that he said that.
Yeah.
Because Bronn and Cersei used to date, and so contractually they're not allowed to be in the same scene because it was such a bad breakup.
Did you notice that? I don't know, because it's been a while since you watched it.
Yeah, I noticed that scene. I was like, oh, that's kind of weird, because now that Bronn's kind of like Jaime's right-hand man, you would think that he would be in this discussion.
Totally.
But no, he's like, yeah, I'm out of here.
Wait, they used to date?
Like in real life.
Oh, in real life?
Cersei.
He's like, did I miss an episode?
What? Yeah.
In real life, Cersei and Bronn used to date, and the breakup was so bad that contractually they can't be in the same scene together. So
Yeah.
Oh my goodness,
like,
that's hilarious.
Just leave
Really?
the great meeting to go have a drink.
Poor Podrick is probably like, wait a minute, how did I get wrapped up into this? I want to be in the most epic scene ever. Poor guy. So I thought that was
scene
interesting.
Was awesome though. So, here's my other. I have a big question. Can I add a question? So, can I add a question? I'm gonna add a question. So I love the whole little scene where the Hound is like talking to Tyrion, and pardon my French, but the Hound always uses bad language. So he's like, it seems like every bad decision has a Lannister, behind it. And then Tyrion replies as the mountain comes up, and he's got some Clegane to back him up. Yeah. And so the mountain comes up, and the Hound, the first thing of the whole meeting, the Hound walks up to the mountain. He's like, you know what's coming for you. He's like, do you even remember me? What have they done to you? You're uglier than me. Because you know what's coming for you. You always have. What
I have that right here.
Oh.
Well, what did he mean by that?
What is he referring to? What's coming? I feel like Ty would know this.
I don't know.
What's coming for him?
I thought a couple of things, because you hear like the backstory about the brother pushing the mountain pushing the Hound into the fire, and so it's kind of interesting because it kind of, you think of fire, you start thinking about the Mad King and him trying to burn everything, and so like all these flashbacks with like the Night King and the White Walkers and the fire. So you wonder if that has anything to do with it, or if it's just really that sibling rivalry where the Hound is like, I'm going to take you down because of what you've done to me. So there's some different things there where he could be saying that it could be the Night King coming for you, but
I feel like this was the closest we got to the Mountain's face, and his eyes weren't eyes; they were red.
Bloodshot.
No, there were no eyes; it was just demonic red. It was crazy. Like,
what if you guys did that during a game? Like, you guys just put like red contacts or something in, and then the team comes, and you guys are like. Especially if you were pitching and you had freaking red eyes.
You'd be like the little giants.
You'd be like,
Alka-Seltzer too.
You'd be like, what the heck?
I don't think anyone really cares that much about it, what color their eyes are. But his eyes were legit like...
We'll figure it out, guys.
I don't know. So I don't know what they meant. I just think it's like judgment, like Judgment Day, or like, your demise. That's what I think it is. Honestly, so I want to talk about that too. I think that's my favorite scene in the entire episode. Just because it's like...
Wait,
The-
which one?
When the Hound walks up to his brother.
I thought this was awesome.
Because it's like there's the Lannisters, the most powerful people in all of the world meeting in this one spot, and this dude doesn't care. He could care less. He could care less. He walks up on his own accord, not trying to mess with anybody. He just wants to talk to his brother. And it's just like so cool to me. So cool to me. I really like that part.
The swag in this whole scene, and with him, and then he just disappears and goes and carries the box up.
Yeah, and because he's such a tough character and mean and careless.
Now, right?
Yeah,
and with Arya, he's like,
Mm-hmm.
I won't be
the whole conversation between Brienne and the Hound, where she's like, "I was just trying to protect the girl," and he's like, "You and me both."
Yeah.
It was awesome.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So it was cool to see.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to Khaleesi's entrance with the dragon, and then Cersei being like, "You had us waiting here for some time."
5 seconds.
Yeah, 5 seconds.
We've been waiting a long time.
And she's like, "My apologies." What did you guys think of that? I thought the entrance was badass.
Oh, for sure.
I want to enter everywhere that way.
Yeah.
Just find a dragon.
I thought it was great, and it also showed, that dragon pit was supposed to be huge compared to those dragons that they had in the past.
Right.
And for her to just ride in on Drogon and just dwarfs the whole dragon pit.
So is Drogon bigger than Balerion the Dread? Or the Dread, whatever that.
I'm not sure, but he's huge. But the fact that Drogon has grown up in the wild and hasn't had to have that captivity to where he's been able to just continually get massive. Yeah.
So you think that's what they were showing? Because the dragon, whatever they're doing to make these dragons, they look so real and badass, and it looked massive.
Yeah.
He's
and
a badass.
it lands and it just crumples. Part of the dragon pit. That's still standing, and it's just like, wow, this dragon is just way too big for this little tiny arena that they have. So just kind of picturing that compared to what the dragons were in the past, I thought that was pretty sweet.
Totally. I thought it was awesome. How about you, Jerry?
I liked it a lot. Yeah. Stud.
Yeah.
Power move.
Hopefully you'll see me next time, AT&T Park, riding in on a dragon, guys. All right, so moving on to Euron's outburst. That sounded really bad. Euron's outburst.
Well, before the Euron going after Theon.
Yeah. Okay, we talked about this earlier, but our audio was off. But our Theon storyline has gotten totally boring, especially with Yara. It's like, who cares? See you later. I'm over that. Stop wasting my Game of Thrones minutes on Theon.
Mm-hmm.
But Euron comes out and he says he's going to the Iron Islands, right?
No, that's after the zombie thing, the White Walker thing.
He sees
He first tells Theon, he's like, "I got your sister. I'm going to kill her unless you submit to me."
Yeah.
So, right?
Yeah. I was just jumping ahead a little bit.
Oh, okay, my bad.
No, you're good.
And how does Theon get to be up in the dragon pit with all the studs?
Yeah,
Theon, he needs to be in the back or something, behind the dragons or something.
Come on.
Strike three.
We're talking about Theon,
strike three. Right? You're out, Theon. Beat it. You're
Get
done.
Out of the Game of Thrones. Get out. You've been horrible forever.
Alright, so then we have Jon Snow and Tyrion making their pleas for a truce, and then they bring out the White Walker. And that White Walker, that was scary. I thought he was dead at first because he wasn't coming out or doing anything.
I didn't know what was gonna happen.
Then he kicks the box over. This scene was my favorite thing. The freaking White Walker comes screaming out. But I really love seeing the Hound freaking crush this thing with his sword. That was because I just love when the Hound's fighting. Like I said, I want to just have the Mountain Hound. I want to have everyone just let's go.
Yeah.
But he crushes the thing, and who is it? Who's the scientist?
Qyburn.
Qyburn's looking at the hand all excited.
Yeah.
Calm down,
Mad
Qyburn.
scientist.
Calm down. Get a room. Yeah, that was great. What do you guys think of that scene? And Cersei's reaction and everything.
Yeah, it was it was weird because she didn't show a lot of emotion during it. When it first happened, I thought, and then all of a sudden you can kind of see deep down there's some kind of fear there, but you can tell that she's is this some kind of trick because it's so out there.
Yeah. Don't you think though, if she was really pregnant, she would have grabbed her stomach?
Maybe. Maybe. She's gotten really good about disguising what her true actions are. So for her she's always keeping secrets. So for her, she probably had that on her mind to not want to reveal that to everybody else there.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I think she's so far beyond evil, like this thing runs at her and she's a little bit taken aback, but she doesn't really care that much, And then Jaime's like, "Yo, I'm fighting this army."
Problem, not really a
like what does she care about anymore? Like she doesn't seem like she cares about Jaime that much. Like she's claims she's pregnant. Doesn't seem like she's that concerned with. Like it's just power. She just wants power, and like I don't know. It's beyond the point of no return.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Agreed. How about you?
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. Like I feel like she was using the whole thing like the whole time. She's just trying to get whatever ounce of leverage she can get. Yeah, is all she was looking for. Because like as soon as that happened, she's like, "Yeah, we'll give you your truce as long as Jon Snow, doesn't."
Which brings me to the next point. What'd you think of that? Jon Snow just being totally honest with her.
I think that kind of just shows kind of his true personality, and he's always kind of been like that, and I think that's why everybody gravitates towards him as being one of their favorite characters, and is because he's always been himself, and it doesn't matter the situation, it doesn't matter what's gone on. He's always tried to stay true to himself and stay true to who he thought his father was, Ned Stark, and having that legacy live on inside of him. So he goes on and he says that, and I was like, that's who Jon is, and he's not going to let that, an opportunity like that, cloud who he wants to become as a person.
Right. How about you, Jared?
I've done the exact same thing.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Listen, Cersei.
Yeah.
I liked his message though afterwards when they're like, Tyrion's like, can't you just like learn to lie every now and then? And he's like, well, then words don't mean anything.
Yeah.
I mean, once the more lies that get out there, then we can't trust anything. And then what is there, what is there to live for if everyone's lying? And like, so he made it. I feel like that was like kind of
that's a cool point.
One of the like pinnacles of the story is like we gotta. I think because there's a message and a spiritual message behind everything, and that's kind of what he's saying is like doing the right thing. Your word has to mean something, integrity. So, and that's what he's kind of the hero of the whole story. And so he has to do that. He has to do the right thing.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'll just be easier in the long run to just deal with what's happening, even if it means her not giving her armies, right?
Yeah. Right.
So I agree with you guys. But then she gets mad. She storms off. She says she ain't doing jack squat. So Tyrion decides to go talk to her. Tyrion and Cersei, they're talking. An interesting thing, so Cersei blames Tyrion for killing Tommen and Myrcella. Do you think that's true? Indirectly or directly? Or
I mean, I thought it was cool how he was like, I love, what did he say? He was like, I love those children. Like, he did kill the father. He admitted that. I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool the way he handled it. Indirectly, I mean, sure, he did have some sort of. You're probably better at exactly how it happened, but I mean, he definitely had a role in it.
Yeah, I think he definitely feels guilty about Myrcella, especially because he was the one that sent her to go to Dorne in the first place.
What? But how could you even?
I think.
Tyrion, don't blame yourself.
I think in a way, you kind of have that guilt because he's the one that kind of made it happen. He was like, okay, he had like a motive behind it, and that was definitely not his motive. He thought, she's going to go to this place, this beautiful place, the water gardens and everything, and hang out and grow up there, and it's all going to be okay. But then he obviously couldn't have seen what the Sands were going to do, so it was tough to kind of see that happen. But I think he feels a little remorse, definitely, for that.
How about you?
Yeah, you're talking about like the whole scene with Cersei. I was reading the stuff. I was reading the comments.
You're fine. So I think she is just using him as a decoy. Like, right? She's not really facing the facts because Tommen really killed himself because she blew up the set.
Right. Yeah.
And then Myrcella, I mean, that you can't predict. But she's blaming him because the father, right, died, and so that left them open to vulnerability. But really, they really didn't have.
He was trying to kill Tyrion, like for no reason.
Yeah.
Right. The whole thing, though, I was actually shocked, like, as far as the characters, that she didn't kill him. Like, because, you know, she had them out in there. Like, I feel like...
Yeah, why don't you think she killed him?
That's what I don't know.
I don't know either.
Because...
And Jaime. She had the opportunity
to
kill
both. I feel
both.
like that was cool. It's like, both of her brothers, like, there was, like, a moment where she was about to kill both of them, and both times she didn't do it. It was like... It was almost like she really does love her family a lot. You saw like almost a small bit of good in her.
Maybe Jaime. I think her not killing Tyrion's is solely a strategic advantage for her, because if he's dead, you know, and it comes to fighting time, who's going to negotiate? Like, you know, because I think she knows that Tyrion, if after the Night King's gone, what's going to happen? I think she knows that Tyrion would, in some sort of way, try to alleviate. You know, just
especially with her words when she was like, "Just remember that I, you know, helped in this time." So that sounds so Tyrion to me.
Right.
Like just the way she said that, the way she phrased that was just so good. Like the phrase was so good that it did not sound like Cersei to be that vulnerable.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. You know, you see Tyrion walking off and they're playing this music. You're like, no, he's gonna die right now. Like, I was like cringing. I was like, no, no, no. And
so
then
there's like no huge deaths in the finale, which is weird.
Right. So I was just like, wow, like that was crazy. But then I think she's got a little bit. I think she's playing Tyrion a little bit too. I think she kind of knows his games and what he's trying to do, and I think that in some way she was like trying to let on to him that she was pregnant and trying to get him to feel a little bit of that remorse, because she knows that the children are his weakness, you know, that he really did love Tommen and Myrcella. So I think she knows that, you know, by saying, hey, I'm pregnant, I think she's like trying to kind of pull him back a little bit and kind of conflict him.
Right, which fast forward to the end scene of him just creepily watching Jon and Dany, right? Like, that was weird. Why was that there?
I think there's a little bit of a love triangle / maybe.
Oh, you think he's in love with Dany?
There was that scene, you know, earlier where
all the guys.
Yeah, where she and Tyrion, where Dany and Tyrion were just sitting there, and she was talking about, you know, how sometimes, you know, the husband isn't always necessarily the most good looking or whatever. It's the one who can like provide the most for me and that kind of thing. And I think there was a little something that was kind of brewing there, and I think that Tyrion...
Yeah, I remember she shot him down and was like, he's too short, too small for me.
She said that about Jon Snow.
Yeah, but I mean, if Jon Snow is too small for her...
Right. So I think there's a little bit of something going on there with it being like a love triangle / maybe a love square with...
Do you think he'll betray Dany?
I don't know what's gonna happen. It's hard to tell.
So
I think his
Tyrion,
motives are.
I didn't notice.
You think he would?
I didn't notice.
I don't know.
I felt
That's
like
the
there was a
thing,
little.
anything is possible.
When Tyrion and Cersei were talking, I felt like Tyrion was. Even when he walked out, I kind of felt like I was like, did he like? Is he like scheming for Cersei? Like I wasn't sure.
I know, you're not sure.
Especially when he walked out, like I don't know, but I didn't notice. So Tyrion was watching Dany and Rhaegar Targaryen. She was watching, or not Rhaegar, what's his name? Aegon? Jon Snow.
Oh.
I didn't know Tyrion was watching them.
He's trying to get fancy.
Yeah.
What was his face like when he was watching them? I didn't notice this.
It was concerned. It was
Yeah,
bothered.
it was like-
I'd say jealous. I'd say jealous.
Dang,
But
Tyrion,
Yeah, for sure.
But why is Tyrion creeping to her room late at night?
If it's
I'd be like,
yeah.
listen, Hand, you're here way too late.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to ask you to leave.
If it's not because he's jealous because of the physical relationship, it's because of the power dynamic that's going on. Because, you know, the King of the North and then, you know, Daenerys, that power, them together that's a force to be reckoned with. So
Yeah.
I would say it's probably a little bit of both, but
Dang, man.
Alright, so moving on to Jon
That's
and
big.
Dany now. Jon telling Dany that the source, the witch, is an unreliable source in terms of her getting pregnant again. Which, no offense, Dany, I'm really tired of hearing that you can't get pregnant. Right? Like...
Did you ever consider it's an unreliable source? Mr. Obvious.
Jon's just like, hey, I'm just trying to get to know you, boo. Like... And she's like, I can't have kids. And it's like, okay, well, we don't know that yet. Like, right? Like, we don't know for sure, 100%.
Maybe Jon was just being a typical guy. Like, let's find out. You sure? No, until you try, girl.
Calm down over there. Yeah. What did you guys think of that?
I thought it was pretty cool because what happens is, it shows that, hey, she may be able to get pregnant. So now, what if there is, now that they're both technically Targaryens, now you're looking if they have a kid together, then that's kind of that three-headed dragon that you're talking about with, in the prophecies, and so you get that with the whole, maybe she is pregnant, and so now all of a sudden there's your three-headed dragon.
Because we've seen her talk about not having kids for like 3 episodes.
So, wait, what's the three-headed dragon? Is that like a prophecy thing?
Yeah, kind of the prophecy that the priests have always been preaching about, how the Ahora's Eye, I think is what it's called, comes in to save the people and defeat the Night King. So it's and they always talk about the three-headed dragon and maybe the 3 dragon riders and that kind of thing. So
where was this at in the books?
Yeah,
we're talking about the TV show here, all right?
No, but we like to have the books to have the story, man.
It's worked in subtly into the show too, with Melisandre and that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
Cool.
I think there's something there.
Yeah.
Now, see, they were saying there was 3 dragon riders and there was 3 dragons. So I was thinking Tyrion for a while, but now I'm like,
well, the Night King is
now
one.
the Night King might be one of the dragon riders.
Night King is definitely
and then it's
one.
Jon and Daenerys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What do you guys think of the chemistry between Jon and Dany? Like on the TV show, do you think it's there?
Oh, for sure. For sure, it's jumping out of the screen.
Okay, well, we know your chemistry with Clark is there, so
yeah, I'm not gonna deny that.
How about you?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think it's great. I think that's when you're just like, yes, finally. I think you're just like, okay, this is the power couple. Let's get this done. We're all gonna live happily ever after once they're in charge.
Right. How about you?
I thought you could see it definitely, like when they're making love and they just like look into each other's eyes.
Season.
Making love.
You're just looking into each other's eyes. Like there's like you can just tell that there's something different, like in Dany's eyes compared to like her past lovers that she's had.
Yeah.
There's like something deeper there.
Well, I
that
think
she
in the
feels.
past she's always she's always mounted the guy, and then this is the time that Jon has mounted her.
Oh, is that right?
I don't know.
Is this right? Jon was on top?
Jon was on top.
I didn't pay close enough attention. I guess I should have.
Oh, I did.
So usually she's on top of the guy?
Normally, yeah, she mounted Khal.
Yeah.
And then she mounted Dario. And then now Jon's mounted her.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Just a little fun tidbit from me to you guys. And then they're back in Dragonstone, right? And so they're talking about sailing to Winterfell. And everyone's like, you should fly. And Jorah's definitely like, you should fly. And then Jon is like, no, we should go together. And then she's like, I will sail with Jon. What did you guys think of that?
I mean, she's definitely... That's what I'm worried about, like her showing all her cards at the Dragon Pit. Like I think she's definitely letting her feelings towards him kind of play into, her power. Like it could hurt her, honestly.
Well, she said at the Dragon Pit, like, I should have listened to you from the start.
Oh, really?
Right? Or we
To
wouldn't
Jon?
be here. Yeah.
About
she
what?
Said that to Jon.
About the Night King whenever you first
Yeah.
like we gotta fight the army of the dead.
Yeah. And she was like, I should have listened to you from the start and we wouldn't be here.
Yeah, I mean it's because Cersei's the only one still scheming, Cersei. She's the only one still scheming, so it's like Daenerys. I think she's letting her guard down a little bit with her feelings for Jon, so it could get her in trouble. I don't know.
Totally. How about you?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. You don't know what is going to happen there. I think that ultimately it's just going to come down to what she can do, to go out and protect her children and protect her family and the ones that she loves. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I don't know where it's going to go or how it's going to lead into it.
Yeah, I'm like, poor Jorah.
Why?
He got cured of the grayscale, and he's like, you should fly.
Oh, boo-hoo.
And she's like, Jorah, quit cock blocking me. I'm gonna sail with Jon. So I don't know. I feel kind of bad for him, but what can you do? Okay.
He's been kind of scheming. I'm like, what's he doing? Him and Theon. I mean, he's okay. He's a little better
Theon. The worst. He's way better than Theon.
He's a little better than Theon. He's still been kind of a boring character.
Yeah, lately. I'm sure he'll come into play soon, hopefully. Jaime and Cersei. So Jaime leaves Cersei and she says, no one walks away from me. She had the opportunity to kill him, but he still walks away. That was awesome. I'm like, finally, Jaime, finally. Do you think he got the strength because Brienne was there and was like, homie, this is bigger than all of us. You need to get your stuff together. Stop being a crazy twin and get it together. What do you guys think?
I think he just saw saw the dead person and was like, yo, this is serious. There's serious stuff to do. Like I said, there's more important things to do. So I thought it was a really cool scene where he's going to fight. He's going right now. He's on his way by himself to Winterfell to fight these, this army. I thought that was really cool. I do think Cersei will send troops along with him. I mean, that's at least what I hope for, but I have to wait a year to find out.
That's what I think makes it all so exciting about the next season is like, as soon as she's like, no, we're not helping them. We're gonna backstab them.
Yeah. And
she's gonna go get the people from the Essos. But it's
the Golden Company.
The Golden Company,
mm-hmm.
but
Euron is getting it.
I can't imagine any way. I mean, I know it's a story, but it's like in real life, if you're facing life versus the destruction of the world, it's like, how can you convince soldiers? There's no money in the world worth. If you backstab these humans, you're just gonna get crushed by a bigger army. It just, yeah. I don't know.
How about you, Ty?
I think the fact that he leaves her finally opens the door for what I was talking about before with the prophecy of Cersei's gonna get killed by her younger brother. So I don't know which one it's gonna be, whether it's Tyrion or Jaime. But now that Jaime finally, I think, has kind of had the last straw with her,
finally.
Yeah, just seeing that, okay, there's no way. It's kind of been going that way all season with every time somebody's like, well, why don't you tell her? And he goes, what do you mean? You tell her. What am I supposed to say? There's nothing I can do that's going to convince her otherwise. And I think finally he's like, I'm just going to do it on my own because I can't stand this anymore. And there's nothing I can do. Mm-hmm. No matter if I'm the father of her soon-to-be child or not, there's nothing I'm going to be able to do that's going to convince her otherwise than what she wants.
I'm so glad you're here to tie in what they're actually doing in the story, because I forgot that a couple people had been like, why don't you tell Cersei
I think everyone's been like that. Pull it together. Cool, then let's go up to Winterfell where we have Littlefinger. Do you guys have any good Littlefinger impressions?
No.
Really. It's kind of basically always just looking with a robe and being stiff.
What do you guys think of his death and how Sansa did it? And
I thought it was great. I thought it was, at first you're like, is Sansa really gonna get this mad at Arya? But then all of a sudden it pans over to Littlefinger and he's got this chuckle, and then you hear in the background Sansa's like Peter Baelish and just his face.
They all look like it's like they had totally timed it.
Yeah. I was yelling at my TV. I was like, Sansa, you're so dumb. You're the dumbest person in the world. You guys know my thoughts on Sansa. She's so square. And I was like, pull it together. What are you doing? And then finally later I was like, okay, Sansa.
Totally redeemed her.
Yeah, I see you. So I was super stoked about it, that she finally pulled it together.
I liked it just as you see the power of the Starks, that they're sharp, they're not going to go down without a fight. They know, they're strong. I liked seeing that.
Yeah.
Because the episode before you see Arya and Sansa and they're fighting kind of, but then you're, oh no, what's going to happen? But then you see them kind of bind together, and I thought it was really cool.
Totally. How about you?
I mean, I love the quote, obviously, but to me it makes it all of the. So at the end when it's Sansa and Arya looking out over Winterfell, and they're like, when the winter comes, the lone wolf dies, but the pack survives. It's what their dad had always told them. Yep. It kind of gives you that. It's that another one of those powerful spiritual moments where it's together is how you survive, and that's kind of the Stark motto, so to speak. But what makes me kind of upset is that they tried to tease us with all of these things where it looked like like Sansa was listening to Littlefinger and Arya was mad at Sansa. Like they were setting up all these scenes for that moment to like kind of shock you, but it's like whenever the three of them, it was like Sansa, Bran, and Arya early in the season, and Sansa made the one quote that made me kind of feel like she knew what Littlefinger was up to. She's like, Littlefinger doesn't do anything, like, because he gave Bran the dagger unless he thinks he's getting something in return from it. Yeah. So like you were like, okay, Sansa knows what he's doing. So it didn't really surprise me, but it was really cool for that moment where they made that great quote that fires me up when there's a big message in a story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Brings it back to the very first episode of Game of Thrones, episode 1, season 1, where you got the Starks all together and they find the dire wolves out in the forest. And so, that whole thing with, Ned just instilling in his children how important family is and how important staying together is. And then you go back to, like I was saying earlier with Theon and Jon, how, Jon says, Theon, you are a Stark, you can be a Stark and a Greyjoy. And so I think all these people who have had these strong ties to the Stark family are all starting to come together, and I think that's going to be a big theme coming into season 8.
Yeah. Okay.
For sure.
Do you think Littlefinger really loved Sansa?
Yes, in a very demented way. I think so.
How about you, Jerry?
I think so too. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't like Littlefinger that much. I'm happy about it. I don't care who he loved.
Yeah, so I thought his death was like a little, I don't know, I felt like I wanted a bigger death, like a bigger, more dramatic, I guess. I mean, the lead up was great, but I don't know, I felt like I wanted something more.
I don't know, the fact that he tries to do anything and everything to stay alive because that's what he's been so good at.
And he just cried.
He just dictates the whole situation in everything that he's in. He started this whole thing basically, and then all of a sudden it's like he realizes that he's stuck and he's trapped and he's got no way out. And you see like his ultimate fears of like, no, like this isn't how I'm supposed to die. Like this isn't happening. Yeah. So that's where I think that comes in.
Yeah, and then she just did it. All right, now headed to Bran and Samwell Tarly, where they do the big reveal that we all known, but they just revealed it that Jon's a Targaryen, and his actual name is Aegon Targaryen, which is awesome. And I thought the way they revealed it was great. I thought it was. Because it had to be done in a really good way, right? Mm-hmm. Without it being cheesy or like, hey, Yeah. I don't know. So I felt like the reveal was really great. What did you guys think?
I thought it was cool. Yeah, I mean, So, wait, Daenerys is his aunt, correct?
Yeah.
So
I like how they reveal it as, like, cut to...
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about this incest versus Jaime and Cersei's?
It's better. Way better.
It's like way more okay. Because they don't know,
Yeah, they don't know. It's like, it's cool.
Do you think it's going to stop them, like, in the future? Like, do you think they'll be like, oh, we should probably stop this? Like, I feel like it really will muddy the waters.
Wait, so didn't you tell me only Targaryens only marry Targaryens?
Yeah,
Who told me that?
That's kind of been a thing with the Targaryens and, the dragon and, the fire inside the dragon. So... the Targaryens have always kind of had that relationship.
In this story, Targaryens only marry Targaryens.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. So you guys are cool with it.
Yeah.
It's better than brother and sister.
I'm totally
if we're comparing incest,
it's a power couple, and as their family history goes in this story, we're not in the real world. We're in like the Targaryens are like immune to fire. They have this like crazy power, and they're supposed to be with each other. So it's actually they're more meant to be together now than before.
I read a tweet somewhere that says, "I never thought I'd live in a world where everyone was so excited for incest."
That is a good tweet.
Yeah. Now moving further north to the Wall, the Night King has finally arrived. Tormund is up there on Little Watch, and he sees the freaking blue dragon come in. Do you guys think he's the blue... First, I have to know, do you guys think the blue dragon is spitting fire or ice?
It's a good question. I didn't think about it. What do you think?
It looks like fire to me. I thought it was going to be ice, but it looked very fiery, and the fact that the wall is made of ice and the wall's built out of this dragon magic and everything like that. To see a dragon that would make sense for the reason why the wall comes down. A dragon taking down that dragon magic.
Yeah.
If he was blowing ice, wouldn't the wall just get more ice on?
Yeah, that's so powerful that it can
just knocked it out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it also, like I said earlier when we were sitting down over there, that it could be fire. Just blue fire is a lot stronger than normal fire. So who knows?
When I saw that, I was like, how are they going to destroy this thing? And it's got to. I mean, all I can think is the two dragons taking the one down. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's going to be an interesting how
I think about the whole Cersei's ballista thing, and they just put some dragon glass on it. Get some spears with dragon glass
spear.
Someone's going to have to shoot one of those things at it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you guys think Tormund is alive or dead?
I thought he was alive. I thought that they both kind of escaped right off to the wall kind of splits, and I think they kind of got right to like the edge where the wall split.
Yeah.
I think
he's
that's
a survivor.
Yeah, that's what it looked like because he kind of anticipated it pretty early and was like, "Get out of here, run!"
Yeah.
So I think he's alive, but
Game of Thrones. If you didn't see it happen, did it happen?
They're always alive.
Yeah.
Unless they die on the set. Littlefinger's dead.
So let's go to the chat and get some questions, you guys. I know there's like a little bit of delay, so you have to wait for them to kind of pile in. But yeah. So that's it. What are you guys gonna start watching now? Sundays. I feel a little
football.
empty.
Yeah,
football.
Everyone but you watches football, Alexis.
Well,
they're going to be all right with it.
I think I'm going to start taking up the Young Pope. As a lead
Is that
in
with
one.
Jude Law?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That one. And maybe that new HBO series that they keep cramming down our throat. The one with James Franco.
Oh, yeah.
They put it before every episode of Game of Thrones.
I only pay attention when the theme song comes on.
So John Looper here says Blue Flame the hottest. Sorry, I'm just kind of going through.
Do you guys think Bran will go warg into the Night Dragon?
Or is Bran the Night King? What do you guys think?
Yeah, that's the whole.
That's a theory.
The whole what do you probably have read more about it?
Watch out with this.
What do you think, Ty?
I don't know. I think there's some similarities there for sure. Hunter and Jarrett were showing me a picture earlier this week of a lot of similarities between Bran and the Night King and their facial features and.
But how?
He can do anything.
So the fact that he can go back in time and change things, I think at some point he may have warged into, to the past, back into the first men and tried to, stop this from happening in the very beginning. But I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think he's going to play a big role in defeating the Night King, whether it's going into him and either sacrificing himself to save everybody else or what it is. I'm not sure, but I'm not completely bought into the theory that Bran is the Night King.
Because he could see into the future, so maybe he can see and realize that for the greater good of the world, this is the Night King needs to be there. Maybe the people need to defeat this army, and then if it doesn't, what are they going to do? They're just going to kill each other.
Or just the past.
I think he can see into versions of the future, but he doesn't know how it's going to actually play out.
Okay. So that I don't know. It's kind of crazy because the Night King is the only one that can kind of tell when he's around, though.
Yeah.
So there's something weird there where the Night King has some psychic powers.
Oh, they have seen each other too, haven't they? Bran and the Night King.
Like when
yeah,
said
because he's grabbed him.
Yeah, and it
that
freaks
mark
him
on
out
his
or
wrist.
something.
Yeah.
He's really grabbing himself.
Maybe.
He's really grabbing himself?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if he's the Night King.
It's weird. This is weird. It's awesome, though. I love the different dimensions and time warp, and the whole Bran thing is awesome. We need more Bran.
Do you guys remember who
There's no
Jaqen
way.
Hagar is?
Hold on, before we...
Faceless man.
Yes.
Do you think Ned Stark is Jaqen Hagar? Someone said that in here, that's a theory.
What's the theory?
Does anyone think the theory of Ned Stark is Jaqen Hagar? We should probably have John pronounce this. I mean, Jared. Call him John. He looks like Jon
Hey,
Snow,
Jon
guys.
We saw Ned Stark get his head chopped off.
Yeah.
I don't.
He doesn't have any
necessarily agree with
superpowers.
that.
The faceless man died, right?
Yeah.
How?
No, the faceless man didn't die. He finally gave Arya the the faces that she had to go back to Westeros. After she finally kills the what's she called, the lady who was chasing her around Bravos.
The little girl?
Yeah.
Crazy
After
girl.
she finally kills
yeah.
her and she goes back and he kind of sees her and she goes, okay, and he goes, now you're nobody, and then she leaves.
I thought that there had to be a life. She like killed a life that she wasn't supposed to kill, and he like sacrificed himself for her to stay alive. I don't know why I thought that.
I don't know.
Gotta
I
rewatch
don't remember exactly how that one played out.
I thought that he killed him. He died for her to stay alive.
I'd have to
It
watch
seemed like
again.
it. We gotta rewatch it. That's the
Yeah.
end of last season.
I think I'm gonna start at the beginning before next season. Just start at the beginning and watch it.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a year.
Yeah.
You got 2 years.
2019.
Yeah.
Why would you do that to us? Why?
This is brutal.
So brutal. All right, let's take one more question. Which one?
Before we take a question, can I throw out a topic though?
Yeah.
Back to the whole Bran thing. There's no way Bran is like time warping just to tell you that Jon Snow is Aegon Targaryen, and what was the other thing that he like time warped for? Like that. Like there's no way that his whole time warp thing is only for that. I don't know. What else did he?
No.
He time warped for one other piece of information. Like why isn't he time warping to figure out what Cersei's up to? I don't know. Never mind. Sorry, my bad.
I know. Why would he just warg?
I feel like
Yeah.
he could be using these powers for some
Did he
baller
warg
stuff.
people? No, just animals.
Well, he warged into Hodor,
Yeah.
and then that's why Hodor.
Oh yeah. So why doesn't he just warg into Cersei and be like, I'm gonna kill myself?
You know, I think at one point he may have tried to warg into the Mad King to try to change the past, and that's why the Mad King goes crazy and says burn them all, and creates all this wildfire.
You think that's Bran tried to work into him?
Possibly because all of a sudden he goes mad and starts trying to burn everything.
Is this a theory?
I think it's possible.
Yeah, but they're saying that Dany's the same way, so it could be genetic.
It could be.
Because they like incest.
What do you think about the fact that Rhaegar had 2 sons and he named them both the
Aegon?
same? Yeah, he named them both Aegon. What do you guys think about that?
Oh, really? Who was it?
Didn't
who was
George
his other
Foreman
son?
do the same thing?
Wait, who was his other son?
His other son was the one killed by the mountain.
Oh yeah, because he had it with Ilaria.
Yeah.
Ilaria Sands. Remember they talked. That's why Oberyn came to
Martell.
avenge.
Yeah.
Did we
Larry
see this
Martell.
in this TV show, or was this just like a story? In the
No,
book?
Oberyn like made the huge announcement about it.
Yeah,
because
that's
the mountain
remember the mountain kills.
raped
Yeah,
Ilaria
Ilaria,
and then killed the
or-
kids in front of her. Right?
Did we actually
Elia.
see this scene? Or was
Elia.
this just
Yeah,
talked about?
Elia.
Who's
Elia.
Ilaria?
Ilaria's the sister, one of the sisters. The,
Oh, you're
the
right.
Sansa.
Did
Yeah.
we see this scene, or is this just talked about?
No, the kids that you remember you always hear about
happened
the
during
mountain.
Robert's Rebellion, right?
Yeah, and the mountain goes off and kills off Rhaegar's wife and kids, and you're like, well, why does the mountain do that? And so that son that the mountain killed, his name was Aegon as well.
Okay.
Something about Rhaegar really wanted to have a son on the Iron Throne named Aegon. I think that could be.
He's like, I'll name all of them Aegon.
Yeah,
One of them
it's
will get
interesting.
there.
Yeah, it's
Him
interesting.
and George Foreman. Can you guys do a death prediction for next season? We'll wrap it up on that question by Carmen Q.
That's a good one.
Do you guys need a minute?
I
Death
think there's going to be a
predictions.
lot. There's going to be a lot.
Supposedly only 5 characters survive.
I could 5.
Wait, how do you? That's
Main
such a spoiler.
characters?
Why would you say that?
Supposedly. Hunter, that's not a spoiler if it's supposedly. We don't know. These are just theories. That's in saying a theory is a spoiler.
Anyway. All right, go ahead.
My theory is that Jon and Dany have a kid together, and the kid is the meant to be conqueror of Westeros and becomes a king. But Jon
How is
and
that
Dany,
not a spoiler?
but then Jon
It's a
and
theory.
I think Jon and Dany are probably gonna die to protect their kid. I think Jon and Dany and most everybody die.
They're gonna die too.
I think that's what's gonna happen, and then
I like how
I
you're
know
gonna
he's
say
like
that.
no. I just have a feeling that that's the way it's gonna be. But then the fact that I think that the whole family thing with the Starks, I think the fact that it started with the Starks, the whole show, I think that has a lot of significance. So I think that that's going to play a role whether, a couple of the Starks survive and end up raising this kid, because Jon was raised by the Starks even though he's a Targaryen. So then it would be fitting for it to be, another Targaryen raised by the Starks that actually becomes the true king.
I have a quick question to throw into all of that. Like, Gendry, where the heck is that guy now?
I don't even know who that
Still
is.
running?
Remember?
Yeah, it was the Baratheon's bastard son.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, are we telling you that we brought him back from rowing just to run?
Yeah.
And they say
he wasn't in the dragon pit, was he?
No, he wasn't in the dragon pit.
I think he's probably going to have something to do with making, like Hunter was saying, a dragon glass weapon. I think being the armory forger, that's got to have some kind of major significance. So they wouldn't have just put him in the armory forge just for no reason, unless he's just becomes this badass warrior like his father Robert,
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens.
How about you, Jared? Who do you think is going to stay alive? Who's going to die?
I'm going to say, my guess would be that Jaime dies, Tyrion dies, I'm going to say Jon Snow dies, just because he's already kind of come back from the dead. I don't know. I would say he dies. I'm going to say Daenerys lives. And
of course
after, yeah, Jon's dead, so it's just me now. And then, I'd probably say that's about it.
How about you?
Here's what I want to see. Let's talk about who should Arya marry. Is she marrying Gendry?
She should totally marry Gendry.
Maybe
she's got to have a stud.
Because like Ty said, we got to have the Starks having, so there's got to be a fortification.
What about Sansa though?
Sansa's dead. She gone.
You think Sansa's gone?
She's probably gonna live, but Cersei's definitely dead. She gone.
I don't know, man.
Cersei is dead.
I don't know. I think she's gonna stay the whole time.
No, like the end of the story, Cersei is. How is she gonna live?
Because she's because that's what in Game of Thrones they've done the entire time. The only people you want to live, or the people you want to die, stay. People you want to live, go.
Yeah, but that's until the end, because the villain has to be strong.
Yeah.
Maybe the Night King wins.
Yes.
Everybody dies.
Everybody dies, and it's the world of the dead.
Actually Bran.
Unless Cersei makes a deal with the Night King, is that possible?
Can he talk?
I don't know.
Can they communicate?
I think they talk.
Through Bran.
He seems
Well,
smart.
then she would need to capture Bran. And she doesn't know that Bran has all these superpowers.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, we're getting to wrap it up, side. We've gone too many theories happening. Well, a big thank you to Jarrett and Ty for being here. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
And hopefully you guys will come back on in 2019.
2019.
Big thank you to you, Hunter. Thanks for being here and talking. And big thank you to you guys for tuning in and chatting with us about all things Game of Thrones. And if you guys like this stream, go ahead and hit that like button. And I can't wait to read through this chat. See you guys soon. Bye!
Nikki was sending messages on here.
Oh,
Nikki
she was?
Yeah. Did we miss them? Where is she?
Let's see.
Oh, why didn't you tell us? You're free to read.
Yeah. Arya can use her faces, including Littlefinger, to work on her list. That was good, Nikki.
Ty,
She's
what
so
about
good.
what about the fact that
Good job.
they think that the Mad King was mad because he was a child of incest?